Good morning, good afternoon. Hello to everyone, wherever you're seeing this, in my free group and any of our paid groups that are for coaches that buy programs or on YouTube. Welcome. My name is Rachel Feldman. What we are diving in today is two conversions, your freebies, your offers. I hear constantly from coaches, and Fiona, this is for you, my friend. Thank you for having the courage to come into our free group and share just some of the problems that you're experiencing in your health and wellness biz, because it's not you, it's not any of us in the lack of knowledge or even in creating our offers. It's that often we are lacking the fundamentals to really create an irresistible offer, whether it's free or it's paid. So Fiona came into our free group and she said, I'm really struggling. She has continued to be in there for the last 2 weeks, really just sharing about knowing her niche. So problem number one is that a lot of people, coaches who make strategy calls when we're trying to figure out what programs to get or freebies, they know their niche, but they don't really understand what sets them apart. So knowing your niche is awesome. That's step one. The second part of that is really knowing your teaching pillars. What separates you from every other coach? What do you teach that's different from what is out there in the world? What do you teach that has made your signature process different? And so understanding how you structure your business, how you structure your offers, your list builders that go to your paid offers, or your list builders that go to a strategy session with you, are either going to make your business or break your business. But a lot of us do that and then we still struggle. So what I wanted to show you, right, and we'll get right into it, is that there is more that goes into creating, bear with me, more that goes into creating an unbelievable offer. Many coaches get stuck in the niche where they believe that they've nailed down their avatar. They believe they know their client really well. And so they're clear on the niche. They're clear on who they're speaking to. They're clear on their pitch, but they're not clear. And this is the mistake, that all of us make. They're not clear on really what their ideal client is struggling with on all levels. So I wanted to do this for Fiona, and I don't know Fiona's business entirely. We haven't done, a hot seat, and we haven't gone into the details, but Fiona has the 4-day weight loss reboot. She's using it in her free group. I don't know the free group. I would say this is a generalization of many, many different problems that I see with coaches in our paid group who come in, or even in our free group, and say, my freebie isn't working. It's not converting, or my program, I open doors and I hear crickets. Drop a 1 if your freebie is not converting. Drop a 2 if you've opened cart and you hear crickets and feel defeated and frustrated. So this is a suggestion for any of you. This is a suggestion for Fiona. The way that I created offers in Rachel's Wellness, and what I do with my one-on-one clients, and what I do in my own business, is I take a little more time to brainstorm that person and the psychology of that person. What are the problems? So let's just say that the niche is weight loss, and the signature teaching pillars are really releasing this diet mentality, getting off the points and the scale and the macros and the micros. Even though if that's part of your, system, that's great. But I would say that a lot of us who are holistic coaches, when we approach weight loss, we really want to go against what is that current theme that's out there. It's, here's this one diet. This is going to fix everything. And what we usually as holistic entrepreneurs, very similar to maybe the work of Cynthia Pasquarella, in combination with Janine Roth, are more of the intuitive eating, or even more of the, let's stop body shaming. Let's really embrace, self-love. And so sometimes the things that we know is the ultimate goal and what we want to teach isn't always exactly where our ideal client is. Meaning our ideal client may just be really at the place of weight loss in her mind, his mind, but they're attracted to us and they want what we have because we do talk the talk and walk the walk. So they see us talking about letting go of the diet mentality. They see us, eating with intuition. They see us. That's in network marketing, also called attraction marketing. And so just remember, your freebie is a reflection of your deepest desire for the change. It's also an insight into your offers, and what it would be like to work with you. So a freebie doesn't just work by itself. We don't just, the days of launching a signature program or launching a freebie or a workshop or a training series or a group and hundreds of signups and conversions, they don't happen as much anymore unless there's massive clarity, because we do live in a world where there is a lot of information. So how do we get clear? I always do what I call the brainstorming phase. If I know that my niche is weight loss, so we're just going to put here, and I know that I'm using any one of our programs, but we're going to do 4-day weight loss reboot. Not going to go into the signature pillars just yet. We're going to talk about really the freebies. I always take the time to really think about all of the problems. The problems in the world of dieting, the problems in amazing magazines like for teens with, women with young girls that are airbrushed, and just this big brand vision of what needs to change in the world, in the machine, in the system, and how that imprints the lives of girls and boys, and this needing to be perfect mentality. So I just wrote the key words that came up for me, even in thinking about Fiona: weight, shame, diet mentality, guilt, lack of self-esteem, confidence. She may be a stress eater. She may be a binge eater. There's an addictive personality because there's fear. And for many of us, we will attach on to whether it's food or, it could be exercise, or it could be eating too much food, not eating enough, addictive, personalities, whether it's, alcohol, or just the ways that we check out. But still, in this person's mind, it's weight that is her biggest problem. So I just wrote, she has this personality that's more of this all in, I'm going to eat perfectly. Oh, but I have this piece of cake, so fuck it. Now I'm just going to go binge. She also has a lot of fear, a lot of anger, a lot of sadness. And I always say some trauma, whether it was core family or whether it was experiences in her life. So I really get to feel that person first and think about the intention of this freebie in whatever way I decide to use it. A freebie with some audios, maybe on meditation, how do we tap into intuition to let go of the diet mentality, or whether I'm taking this freebie and I'm creating a series in my group and, really diving into how easy is it to make the recipes in this book, how simple is it to really embrace a no diet mentality, a burn the books kind of mentality. I always have to step into my funnel. And that's why many of you who have known me for a while, and if you don't, just go over to rachelafeldman.com and you'll see a lot of what I'm about, is that I always created every social media post, freebie, offer with massive intention, not just what I wanted to offer, and not just thinking that the offer was going to convert itself. And yes, I did build my business 10 years ago. And that's why even more now, it's so imperative to get so clear with the intention, so that the creative flow of thinking about this person and how she or he can benefit from this guide, and really understanding the solution. My solution is this freedom from dieting, this freedom from deprivation, this freedom from denying, this freedom from denying her worth and or his, or thinking that there needs to be this massive control, because it goes back to the fear. So in that process of me getting really clear in just those words, you saw how naturally the message flows. I would say this is one of the biggest problems. I see this in my membership, which is called Content in a Box. I see this with my clients because it's our own business and we tend to get stuck. Some of us have a little more of a, superpower to kind of dive into that flow of the message. And maybe there needs to be a little more push-ups in the area of just how do we structure then this 4-day reboot to actually convert? Because, as I said in the beginning, there are many components. Some of you have a really easy time. I would say Jess Royston and JJ and many of the coaches that I always reference, JJ Muniz from Fearful to Fit, Amy Ramsey from The Fit Soul, just an easier time kind of tapping into intuition and creating value. But many of us get stuck, whether it's overwhelm, it's overthinking, it's personality, it's, that we need to do a little more push-ups in this area. So I want to just show you how fast we saw, I talked a little more through that, but that could have been done in about 10, 15 minutes. Not focusing on the marketing, not thinking, oh my God, are people going to sign up? Or are they not? Just step one is really to be that offer, free or paid, in all different kinds of formats. If a freebie is not converting and it's just like sign here, click here, sign up for my newsletter, get this, that's not really a call to action, a CTA. That's exciting, enticing, sexy, irresistible. If I were to create a call to action, such as taking this 4-day reboot, and I would say option 1 is 4-day reboot with 4 trainings. You might be saying to yourself, I'm not good on video. Just get over self. Because your ideal client may not be converting because he or she is not connecting with you. That is the biggest problem. If we don't connect, because words are words, that's why a picture tells 1,000 words, a picture is worth 1,000 words. It's the same with video, is that it's really difficult in the world to communicate. And so honing in on some mini trainings or even audios where your ideal client can really get to know you is going to increase the conversion. So if I were doing this, I would have 4 trainings, and I would do one on batch cooking. I would do one on cravings, emotional and physical. My clients would always say to me, Rachel, I just ate a meal and I'm craving sugar. Well, that is physical. In my mind, there's the physical elements of that. Maybe there's minerals off balance. Maybe there's blood sugar issues. But there's also the emotional of, sometimes we just stress eat or we don't chew, or there's other stuff on our mind that's making us feel like, oh, I had this meal that I really didn't want. And so we're still in that deprivation mindset. Hence, why so many of the people in the world struggle with food as being one of the biggest addiction areas. So I always created videos just in the areas that either I struggled or that people just generally asked me about. I would also talk about like eating on the go. I attract busy people, and I know that this is some of people's biggest areas. And I would also talk about intuitive eating and why. When we get clear on the goal of the offer, whether it's the blog, a social media post, the freebie, and we really play out those scenarios, then I can say, yes. So my ideal client, she has this problem with all this stuff, all this. And again, I could go on, I'm sure, for 25 more problems because I am extremely clear on my different avatars. I'm also extremely clear on the problems and the way that people say their problems, because I took the time in my business when I started to take the advice from schools and take the advice from people in the digital marketing space and even sales to say, I have to get people on the phone. And it wasn't just that I said, click here to schedule a session, because in the beginning stages, there's not trust established. So why is somebody going to just click for a 20-minute session or join me for 60 minutes? They have to know what is the promise of actually getting on the phone with you. Is it going to be valuable? Is it a waste of their time? And I know that and I know that there's so much transformation that can happen in one conversation, but coaches are a dime a dozen. And it's not to say this to scare you. It's to say this to empower you to get super clear, because I know my ideal client, she struggles with weight. She's got all the stuff happening, and the men and the couples that I worked with, there was weight, there was communication issues, there was martyring through feelings. And I only know that because when I did a call to action, it was specific. It wasn't sign up for my newsletter. I did that in the beginning, but that didn't work for very long. I quickly changed my call to action. I had, it's the same one that I sell at yourhealthcoachbiz.com. It was, ways to restore your gut health. And it would say like, click here to get this guide and sign up on my newsletter list. I changed that. I right away realized that my ideal client needed to know what was the promise of actually getting on the phone with me. That's not a claim. That's just a promise, the intention. And so I took that one freebie, just like we did right here. And I'm not even going to go into other ways, because we're going to dive into that as well as some other just really simple trainings like this, because I know this is very easy, and yet it can be extremely complex to lessen our overwhelm in the building of our business, push back all the bullshit that everyone says is necessary to build a business, and really get down and dirty, in the intention and in more of the psychology and the needing to build up this freebie to really make it enticing. So call to action, I would instead be like, hey, sign up for this 4-day reboot, get instant access to 4 trainings. So you end the diet mentality, or so you don't live addicted to the scale, or so you don't live counting points and feeling deprived. Get clear on what is that really big, we call it a brand message. That's not just your branding of your logo and your colors. This is when you create these core messages that help people to understand this really big vision of what you see in the world, of how you want the world to change. And so many of you have that like in your heart and in your soul. You're just not having it come forward. And that is where people get inspired. It's inspiring, of course, to see pictures of food. It's inspiring to see that. But when they see that, and that's coupled with your really clear, deep why, the why you do this, the why you create your freebies, the who are they for, what problems do they solve, the problems in the world, the problems for your client, your ideal client, the age that person is, the gender, their habits in their day. Do they work? Do they work a 9 to 5? Are they a high-powered salesperson? Are they in their, are they mom? Do they have kids? Are they, alone? Are they married? Are they divorced? And you play out all the problems in these people, in your ideal client's life. Then a call to action is really clear, and it allows you to, which is the beautiful flow of the embracing the yin and yang together, is that those messages start to organically flow. You can always change a call to action. 4-day reboot, 4-day trainings right away on that thank you page, or in your AR, also known as automatic responder from your email marketing system. You can put first thing, here's a personal story, do the video. You have to do a video. People have to hear you. And if you're scared to do a video, take my advice. I put myself on a video a day challenge, kept them unlisted until I practiced enough to feel confident. Clearly, even today, there's no filter, there's no diva light, and I have no makeup. My deep why is not to have you think I'm perfect. My deep why is to know, is my ideal client, health and business, to know that we can let go of perfectionism. It's not that I don't like the diva light. It's not that I don't do that, but it's in the transparency of what I stand for and what my brand stands for. Put that personal message. That's where they connect. So you have a personal message and you say right under, are you struggling with? You go back to the core, issues. I struggled with 1, 2, 3. I remember when I became a coach, I, knew that I had to start teaching ABC, your signature pillars, because I'm so sick and tired of seeing this X theme in the world. This theme blanketed, my decisions as a young girl, or blanket, has made me sad watching, this industry of weight loss, how whatever it is, whatever you feel. And then that call to action right there isn't schedule a session. It's actually like, speak to your ideal client. Say, if you've ever struggled, if you've ever felt alone, if you've ever thought that you would just live diet to diet and deprivation to deprivation, or maybe you have children and you don't want to pass this down like it's been passed down to you, hit reply. That is a beautiful funnel. That is the flow of connection that has to happen for funnels to truly work, for conversion to really work. Some of you maybe, putting your opt-in freebies in different places, or maybe you're only depending on one platform. Even if you're only on one platform, it still needs to have the element of soul and connection and story. To recap, just even the original intention for Fiona with this training is that Fiona has this 4-day reboot in a group. In a group, there are so many different ways to, and I'm just going to stop sharing for a little. There's so many different ways to create structure, because again, in a world of fear, people need structure. And as coaches, we're like, no, let go of the fear. But that's not human behavior. Human behavior is we get stuck in our 24 hours. We get jammed up. We let go of our good habits, maybe just one. And then all of a sudden, little one, things start slowly falling apart. And then we go, shit's a mess. And as coaches, we can usually catch ourselves because we know our warning signs. But I would say for most of us, that's why we have a trainer and we go to an acupuncturist, or we, do follow-up checkups with our hormone doctor. We have accountability partners who create structure for us so that we can take a deep breath, so that we don't have to feel overwhelmed, so that we feel taken care of, heard, loved. And so, Fiona, this is what I suggest. And again, tap into your own intuition, hear this, feel this, take away what you want. Take what you want and then implement what you feel, and your ideal client is dying for you to say, what he or she needs. And I say dying because many of us die internally, and yet we don't speak about it. We martyr. We feel shame and guilt. We feel all the things that stop us from really sharing what's going on. And so if I were to do this in a group, I would create the buzz around this. So step number 1 for any of you using our PowerPoints, freebies, programs, offers, you still have to create the buzz around a freebie or an offer, paid or free. So how do you do this? Before you are launching this freebie, let's just say that, Fiona, you've already launched it in there, but now you're going to pull back and you're going to up level, add more value to this freebie. Start to take about a week to create this story around those pain points. Actually come in and do either lives or some pre-recorded videos that you can put onto your blog, or talk about the diet mentality. Start to ask engaging questions. Like, when you go to a restaurant, do you get nervous to eat your favorite dessert? Do you feel like you're going to, fall off the wagon with your dieting, whatever? Or do you feel like you have a disordered eating, but you're scared to tell anyone? And for some of these, what I call really sensitive topics, it's not uncommon that people won't share in a group. So make it on your social media post. Say, you know what, just send me a DM or a PM. That is another call to action. That is what I call the no opt-in, opt-in. And that training is on my site at rachelefeldman.com/free tools. It's on the workshop training where you download the free workshop. I go through what the no opt-in, opt-in is, because when that person DMs or PMs instantly, and what I suggest for all of you is do a voice reply. You can even do a video reply by taking loom.com and shooting a video. Get to know people. That's where the funnel starts. The funnel starts in the social media post. The funnel starts in the story. The funnel starts in you sharing, behind the scenes, or things that you really desire to change in the world, or stuff that haunted you, or your greatest assets, your superpowers, on how this doesn't plague you and why you have this big purpose and this mission to change this problem, this big problem. Take a week. Really formulate and get comfortable with, some people call them canned responses. I call that sales. Soulful responses is when we just say, I'm going to know and I'm going to have faith that if I speak my truth, not in a diary, but if I speak with what's the pain, what's the solution, and what's like the 1 to 2 steps or 3 steps that I do in my life that have helped me get from step 1 to, where I am today. Because our step 1 woman or man or couple, it's weight, but it's all these other areas. The goal is to get to a non-dogmatic state of eating, that of intuition, that which we all desire. But we have to take her in baby steps, or him in baby steps, to get there. So during that week, at the end of that 7 days, and you're really cultivating that story, then you say, guys, you know what? Sign up. This week, we're going to be kicking off this group in style. My deep commitment is to help, men and women end this vicious cycle of dieting. It robs you of the following. Boom. Put those pain points right there. For those of you who have our what I call full packages, 60-day weight loss, or our adrenal program, or a mindset, or a 3-month eat with intuition, any of that, all of our big programs, or even our gateway, any of our programs, pull some of the pain points, are you struggling with, use that in your content, use that in your social media posts, in your lives, so that you stop having to create and you connect more. And so you want to bring them to this sign up and say, guys, you know what? You instantly will get these trainings. Why? This is an approach that I learned from Todd Herman many, many years ago. I just watched his style of training because I struggled for many years to help people to understand the elements of gut and all the elements of it, and food allergies and autoimmune. And I realized really fast that my conversion significantly increased when I pre-qualified with trainings, when I pre-taught. Amy Porterfield, Marie Forleo, James Wedmore, they all do this. Why? Because they want you to be clear on these trainings before you get to that open cart, before you get to the conversion. Because remember, even if it's free or paid, it's still the open cart. Get people in that week, say, you know what, if you want to hop on the phone with me, great. If you want to hop on Zoom, get someone on Zoom. Zoom.us is free under 40 minutes. You can also do Skype. You can do Messenger rooms, Instagram rooms. You want people to get on the phone and you want to hear from people straight up exactly how they are saying their problem, and say to that person, do you mind if I record this? This information is so valuable for me to be able to do my deepest work. And just have the courage, get over the fear of asking. It's a big thing in this business that nobody frickin' talks about, but it's that ability, and that ability to be confident and to know that the work and what you feel inside of you has to be taught, because either you were dying internally, or you witnessed somebody, or you're a caretaker, or you just want change. So get people on the phone during that week. In that time during that week, set the schedule in your group to say, guys, on Monday, I'm going live on weight loss, and how it affects us really in every area. Wednesday, do a hot seat, 15-minute hot seat, get somebody on a Zoom. Friday, do the same thing. Really create value. And I know you may be saying, well, that's a lot of work. Truth is, the majority of you, even myself at times, are feel insane doing all the social media. I guarantee each one of you is bleeding out about 2 hours a day, futzing around with maybe a blog saying imperfection, or your Instagram profile to make it look perfect, or just all this stuff that are great strategies on what we're taught. But connection happens because we create intention and alignment and value. And so crafting the structures we've done, even in 34 minutes today, is an amazing rinse and repeat system that you can do for any free opportunity and paid. Did you just see the light switch go off? Meaning creating the pre-buzz and creating that story. It becomes more natural, because as you do it once and you see that it works, it will start to really not only have people really see you as that expert and the leader and the influencer, it creates trust. People, just like children, you can't just put a food in front of a child and expect they're going to eat a brand new food. That needs to happen like anywhere from 7 to 9 to even 12 times. Same as for people. And that's why creating the element of story, bringing in those stories where people connect, not going in for the sale. We call this the right hook. Even if it's free, that's the teaching of Gary Vaynerchuk. Going in for here's the call to action. That's still going in for the hook when we approach with story and value, and we help people connect with us. Even if you say, hey guys, send me a personal message. I'm going to, send you 15 recipes, or I'm going to send you this guide that I have on weight loss. That's inviting somebody. That's actually putting our hand out. That's the one-on-one mentality, even in the digital space. Because we wouldn't go up to somebody like, hey, come to this group. Here's these trainings. We'd be like, hey, tell me about what's going on with you? What are the struggles? We would listen and we would say something back. And when we start to look at a funnel in that way, magic happens. So of course you would, launch that freebie. It doesn't even have to be massively overwhelming, because people are getting those trainings, and those lives that you're doing in there is creating massive value. When we create massive value, we can start to analyze and also see where there's engagement. Even if you never look at Google Analytics or Instagram Analytics, I still can't read my Facebook ads. It's just not my superpower. So I don't mess with it. I stay where the conversion happens. And that is, for me, in the connection piece with people, and in health, in business, because I have to listen to the problems of people when it was health, in business, for me to understand the missing pieces in the industry, in the world. And so during this time, you can, of course, take notes on everything. You may have to also pivot the message. And that is a podcast that is on rachaelafeldman.com/podcast by Christine Blubaugh, where we talk about pivoting the message. You might find Fiona, that people aren't attracted to weight loss, but when you twist the message to talk about like sugar and weight loss, or twist the message to really dive into hey guys, I've got this 4-day weight loss reboot, and I'm going to jam about metabolism this whole week. Then you can start to theme the weeks, not only for your group, but then bleed that into the lives that you do in that group, get downloaded, put onto YouTube. That YouTube video you can actually put onto a blog. And so your business becomes a machine instead of one cycle of exhaustion. And that takes what it does require is just giving self and soul, take an egg timer clock, like the old school clocks, and giving yourself an hour to just sit with brainstorming of the intention of the freebie. Start to poll, start to message properly to people in your group. Or if you're not doing it in a group and you're doing it on a Facebook page, or you're doing it on an opt-in page, it's still the same. You can, just to recap, on the download page or the automatic responder, still have that video story at the top. Have step 1, download your recipes. Step 2, download the guide. Step 3, if you are really struggling and weight has always been an issue, or this diet mentality, click here. That can even instantly go to your email. And I know we say but that's not automation. Well, people are not robots. And people really desire connection, especially in a world where everything is a bot, a funnel, a sales automatic response. It's, hey, come to Thrive Market to get this. Oh, put in your email to even be able to get to the site. It's not that Thrive Market should change. It's not that any website should change, but we have to, as coaches, as soulful wellness entrepreneurs, understand that it's essential for us to always stay in the connection part with people. Doesn't mean you bleed yourself dry without automation. Automation saves you time in a system, in a process, but it does not replace human contact. So I know that was a little longer than I anticipated. I hope that everything in this training was clear and helped you to see the flow from step 1 to the conversion. And also remember, for many of you, you do come into our groups, paid, or even, our membership, or even schedule, a strategy session to figure out what programs you need to have, or what free offers. And just like I said to Ryan yesterday, who I had a session with to figure out what he wanted to launch in his business, he asked me, should I do a challenge and then on the last day do a webinar with an offer leading to my paid program? And I said, you can do that. I've tried everything. And that's the key word, is that please, in a world where we do feel like there's this one magic bullet, just know in your business, there is going to be the intuitive roadmap and funnel you have to create based on your love language, whether you're an introvert or an extroverted personality, how your ideal client wants to be spoken to. And so I said to him, look, I would take the 5-day gut challenge and I would put some videos in there, because you're such a soulful, soft, great speaker, and you have such a profound story of what happened in your health and a death that happened in your family and how you overcame it and rose above. I said, that isn't always easy just to see on a sales page, in an opt-in, in words. I said, I really encourage you to take 2 hours, shoot, 5 videos, shoot this is my story, this is why I put this together, and a follow-up video. That means 7 videos that total no more than 10 minutes each, and really helping and guiding that person through that 5-day challenge. If you desire to do it live, great. Create the urgency to get people, into a group, or get people to come on, like I said in this with Fiona, some Zooms where people actually see you in action. Because remember, conversion is one thing to a newsletter or to a training or to a webinar, an evergreen webinar, Facebook ad, anything. But the conversion truly happens if they buy, if they hire you, and you will increase your conversion, your real conversion, instead of just looking at numbers and likes, which we all seem to do. When your ideal client really understands the why behind what you do, the things that you've overcome, your triumphs, your struggles, and what I said earlier, really having that person say, my goodness, it's like this person's in my head, or wow, I just really admire this person. I have to be around them. I need more people like this in my life, because what's working isn't working. in my life. And so I said to him, you might find that you have that signature core offer as your freebie, and that you get people on the phone and you convert on a phone call. And that was always, I called it the rockstar one-on-one call. It's not a script. It's the flow of soul. It's a flow of soul with knowing intention, with knowing the ideal client, with knowing how to match your ideal client to different offers, knowing the promise of offers, what thing would be ultimately right for them. But most importantly, being able to listen to somebody first and then having this empowered, beautiful conversation about options instead of going in sales. Here, join this, join my 14-day program. There's only X, spots left, which of course is urgency. But when we have urgency with a soulful talk and somebody really connects, I guarantee your conversions will increase. And this is really imperative for many of you who are 9-to-5ers building this business with an autoimmune like myself. Or maybe your time has significantly changed just in this, new reality for what it is. It's essential to be really smart with your time, really intentional with what you put out there so that you don't burn out your adrenals, waste time, but more importantly, sacrifice not changing somebody's life. So, with that being said, guys, I am going to get going. I got to take actually my baby pug, she's 15, to acupuncture and light therapy because she too deserves the beauty of not being in pain in her life. So with that being said, guys, just to recap, go to rachelafeldman.com. I really encourage you to go to the free tool page, look at the free challenge I have there, the free workshop. Those trainings take you step by step. If you need more advanced trainings, I encourage you to join our Content in a Box. You can find that at yourhealthcoachbiz.com. It's a really great low cost opportunity to get a lot of trainings just like this. And if you are struggling just in any programs to get, and you just need to talk it out, I will always offer that. We don't do coaching, but talking out the intention and your vision is so extremely important because I see so many coaches come to me in tears, in sadness, and have spent so much money either with a business coach that's been really helpful, or maybe even creating their signature program around this idea of what they wanted. And one offer, but it really doesn't feed into the different pain points of people, or maybe the different steps. We call this the hero journey steps. So all I can say in conclusion is spend more time connecting. Don't think it's the algorithms. They change, when we create value, and it really works. It's shocking, guys, that the funnel actually works versus just looking at the signups and the likes on comments or on a social media post. So have faith. And if you guys have any questions, please drop them wherever you are. I do encourage you to come over to our free group if you're not in. And with that said, all right, deep breath. You can do this. Got to believe in yourself, and don't doubt yourself. Just make sure that it is intentional, and that you have the ability, that we all have the ability to pivot and change without feeling like we did something wrong, or I should have known that. There's not a should have or could have or would have. everything happens for a reason. Everything happens at the time it's supposed to happen. We have to take the steps we have to take in our business, just like we had to take in our health journey. I wish there was one book for health. Nobody would have a problem. It's the same in business. Like, please just take some time to step back in the way that we did today and cultivate that really intentional, beautiful plan. Bye, guys. Big kisses, big love. Bye.